Hey everyone, and welcome back. Right, so we can add items to our inventory, we can create or detect the drag and drop operation, and now let's create the logic needed to ensure that when we drag an item from one slot to the next, it's placed there successfully, and if there's an item already in that slot, then we can swap the indices and all of that other fun great stuff. And we'll also create a few other functions that we will be using throughout the entire inventory section of this course. Let's open up the inventory component. I can close this WB inventory slot, by the way. And let's create a function called get. Let's get the inventory slot at index. Now, obviously, this requires an index as an input, so I'll change the type to be integer, and I'll rename the input to be index. One more thing I need to do here is ensure that some functions are private, and we don't need all of them to be public like this. So for the set slot quantity, and for the others shown, I'm going to make them private. I'm going to leave get inventory slots public because we require this in the widget blueprint class. So I'll place this in the category of public. I'm going to do the same with the get inventory slot at index function, make it private. And for the add item to inventory can also be public. Great. So for this function, we can get our inventory slots and check if there's a valid index. So let's get let's do is valid index. And the index that we want is the input of this function. So if the incoming index is valid, then we want to get it and return the slot associated with it. If it's not, then we can just exit the function early by calling a return node. I'll add two outputs. One will be of type boolean and the other of type s inventory slot. I'm going to call the boolean return value, and this will be the returned slot. I'll then copy these two variables, paste them over here, and then we can get a reference. Actually, let's get a copy to the index and return it. Set return value to be true, and that's it for this function. Right. We can close this now, and now we need a way to add the item to that slot's index whenever we drag it. Create a new function called add item to index. In here, we can use the previous function, get inventory slot at index. Ensure to make that function pure, by the way. Drag the index in, and I'm going to rename this to be target index. Next, we need an input of type s inventory slot. And I'm going to call this item to add. I'm going to add a branch. So if the slot that the index at that slot is valid, then we can drag from the return slot and make sure it is available. So if it doesn't already contain an item, we can add onto it. If the slot is empty, then we'll just add the item to the slot by using the previous function set item to index. So if it already contains an item, which will be triggered off of the false, then we just want to stack onto that item and then add the remainder onto any other available slot. Right? So if this is false, if it did not find a valid index, then we can return. And I'll require two outputs of type boolean. The first will be return value, and the second one would be are all items added. I'm going to leave this as false. And we don't have a function to stack the items just yet, so we can just create the function now, which is stack items on transfer. This requires two inputs of type sInventory slot. The first one is going to be our target slot, and the second is our initial slot. All right, we can just add an output of type Boolean for now and call this return value. Let's complete the add item to index function before moving on to everything else. I'm going to drag in the stack items on transfer, connect it to false, and I'm going to duplicate the return node 2 times. And for this one, I'm going to set return value and all items added to be true. And for this one, I'm just going to connect it, set the return value to true, and drag the return value in here. Now, we need access to the target slot and the initial slot. The initial slot and the item to set will be the input of this function, which is the item to add. So let's copy the input text, drag off, and get it. Connect this to the initial slot as well. And for the target slot, this will come from the returned slot of the index that we found. Connect this to the target slot as well. And that's it for this function. Now let's move on. We can do one more function here. This is going to be really quick, called swap indices. This requires two inputs of type sInventory slot. The first one is going to be called target slot, and the second one is going to be the slot that we're trying to swap with. So let's do slot to swap, and we can just use set item to index function, connect the target slot and the item to set as the slot to swap. Then we can get the slot to swap as a variable within the graph. We can break this and access the inventory associated with it, AC inventory. And then we can duplicate the set item to index function, connect this here, and all we need to do is plug this as the target and swap the values. So let's use slot to swap, and let's get the target slot as well. Right, so for this one, the slot to swap will actually be the target slot, and the item to set will be the target slot variable input. And that's it for this function. We can move on now. We can also close the add item to index and this get inventory slots function. We can do another function called remove item from slot index. And this requires an index, so I'm just going to get the function here, get inventory slot at index, connect the index here. Then I'm going to check if the index is valid by adding this branch. If it is not, then I'll just exit. And I'll add an output to this function as well of type Boolean. Rename this to be return value, and I'm going to leave this as false. Next, I'm going to call the set item to index function again. And the item to set, since we are removing it, oh, I made an error right here. Right. Since we are removing the item, the new item to set will be null. So I'm just going to select make as inventory slot and hide all of the unconnected pins. And for the target slot, will come from the returned slot from the validated index. And lastly, we can exit the function successfully here. We can close this now. Right, let's move on to the larger function that we ignored for a bit now, which is stack items on transfer. We can use the global function can stack and has space. Yeah, so the slot to stack will be the initial slot. We'll check if this is returning successfully. If it is, then we'll store this in a new local variable, max stack size. If this is false, which means we're trying to swap with an item that either has no space or cannot be stacked, then we'll just want to swap the indices. So let's connect swap indices here and call our return node. Leave it as false. Now for the target slot, will just be the input target slot, and the slot to swap will be our initial slot. Done and done. Now let's get both of these variables again, and from the target slot, let's break the structure. The only thing we need from this structure is the quantity. I'm going to duplicate this broken structure here and connect our initial slot to the second one. Just going to bring it forward. Now let's add the initial slot's quantity onto the target slot. And I'm going to save this in a new variable, which will be our new slot quantity. And something similar to the add item to inventory function, I want to check if the new slot quantity is greater than the maximum stack size. And if it is, then we want to update the slot's quantity. And if it's not, then we just want to update the quantity and exit the function. So I'm going to use set slot quantity, duplicate it, connect it here. And now, off of the one from the false, we can just exit the function successfully right here. And up here, we need a bit of calculation to update the initial slot's quantity as well. So we're going to update the new quantity of the new targeted slot, and we're also going to update the value of the initial slot quantity as well. Before we move on, let's fill these data out here. For the target slot, I'm just going to copy these two, bring it here. The target slot will be the target slot for both of them. And for this one will be our maximum stack size. And this one should be our new slot's quantity. Great. Now let's move on. I'm going to get my initial slot variable here, break the structure, and get access to our inventory component. And then we can duplicate the set slot quantity function. This will be the target, the initial slot. The target slot for this one should be the initial slot as well. And for the quantity, we need a small bit of calculation, which should be the new slot quantity minus the maximum stack size. And with that done, we can then call our return node, and we can leave this unchecked. Good. Right, I believe this is all for this part of the course. Let's make all of these private, by the way. We don't need these accessible to any other class within this project. Good. Let's drag it into the private category as well. Done and done. All right. In the next episode, we're going to continue by setting up a few more settings for our widget blueprints, for splitting the stack, dropping the items, and all of that good stuff. That's it for this one, guys. See you in the next one.